What's going on, everybody? My name is Critic and welcome back to my Ark Hardcore playthrough, where we're playing through the island on Hardcore. Now today we have something really special. Today we're going to be doing the Winter Wonderland stuff. And the Winter Wonderland stuff is going to be going beyond this episode. And it's going to make up a good part of this episode, but I'm not going to have it be the absolutely full focus of this episode or subsequent episodes. What I will say is, since we are on hardcore, and to make sure that I'm keeping as honest as possible, we will be getting things like Ascendant armor, Ascendant blueprints, Ascendant weapons, saddles and stuff like that. That's all part of the Christmas stuff. I'm going to show you guys at least one night of it. The first night I wasn't really expecting, so I mess it up, and you guys are going to see that. I'm not really going to hide that from you. Winter Wonderland is one of those fun events that, if you play a solo game, is great. It's honestly really well done for the solo game, but if you play any kind of multiplayer servers, it is a nasty thing. Mostly because, as you'll see, it's basically like one person gets the loot, basically. It's really not made for multiplayer, or well, it's mostly made for PvP. Now this whole game is made for PvP. And in episode 1 I mentioned that I don't PvP in this game, and that's because the game itself is really wonky. So whereas the storyline and everything about the game is made for PvP, and this event is also made for PvP, it's just something that in this game, PvP isn't exactly desirable or the best, and I've seen people do PvP very well in this game, but it's just not my cup of tea. I do love PvP games. I do play some PvP games, but it's just not this game. That being stated, I didn't realize that Winter Wonderland had actually gone live. I was flying around. I was looking for some tech dinos so I could get some electronics, and then this came up. Raptor Claus has arrived. And so every time you hear that ho ho ho, it's basically going to be Raptor Claus dropping a gift. And what Raptor Claus does is he spawns at the edge of the map. He can spawn pretty much anywhere. And then Raptor Claus flies in a straight line, and every time Raptor Claus says ho ho ho, he drops a gift. And you have a limited amount of time to pick up said gift. Now, when I was recording this, I didn't realize that there was actually a time limit. I just figured that you had until daybreak to pick everything up. So during the Winter Wonderland event, at midnight every night in game time, Raptor Claus will appear, and he will drop his gifts. And so what you want to do is you want to just kind of fly up, get a good look, so you can get a good lay of the land. And then what you're looking for is you're looking for those gifts that appear out of nowhere. And they're big, kind of orangish, yellowish, floating balls is what you'll see. It does take me a minute to find them. I do tend to hover toward the center of the map. And you can see here that I'm just kind of constantly scanning, and I'm heading back just to see if it's maybe behind this mountain, and I'm just not able to see it. But then as I turn this way, I see that bright light that wasn't there before, and it's shining off of off the water, and then there's that second one. And so that's how you basically find him. And you'll see that he's going in a straight line. You can see him. He's just a little up to the left of my character. And I will spy scope him here in a second, just so you guys can get a good look at him. It's literally a couple of reindeer pulling a raptor claws. Um, so I think it's actually really hilarious, and it's a lot of fun. Um, so as these things slowly drift down toward the terrain, you basically got to go get to them, and then you can open them up, and there are goods inside. And like I said, I mean, you can get ascendant gear out of it. You can get ascendant blueprints out of it. Saddles. You get a lot of really good stuff, honestly. So, oh, and chibis. That's probably the biggest thing. And people who don't know this game won't understand what a chibi is. But a chibi is basically a shoulder pet that you get to have. Is basically the easiest way of describing it. And with the shoulder pet, each time you kill an alpha of any kind, your chibi gets experience points. And if your chibi levels up, and it can level up to 5 times, so it starts at level 1, it can go to level 6. So if you level up your chibi, each level it gains gives you an extra level, the player. So when you first play the game, without killing any bosses, your maximum level is 105. If you max out your chibi, you can go up to level 110. If you kill the Overseer on the island, who is the final boss of the island, if you kill the Overseer on Gamma, you gain 5 levels. If you kill the Overseer on Beta, you gain an additional 5 levels. And if you kill the Overseer on Alpha, you gain yet an additional 5 levels. So it is very possible. So if you know people, you can go to the Alpha Overseer and gain 15 levels, max levels. So you see in there that we actually got 2 cryopods out of that. So that was really big. We also ended up getting some coal and some holly. You feed those to gotcha clauses, and we'll go over that later. I'll actually show that. So, yep, and what you do is you basically just fly back. Now, instead of continuing to follow the track or the trajectory that that Raptor Claus was on, I decided to go back toward the first gift. Like I said, he flies in a straight line, so you can kind of track down where the gifts are. And I thought that I just had until daybreak to pick these things up. So I was like, screw it, I'll just go back, I'll go get that first one. I don't want to leave any stone unturned on this. This is a chance at some really good stuff that would take me otherwise, hours, if not days, to farm up. So that's where we're going. That's why I made the decision to do this. And like I said, ultimately it does come back to haunt me. So come down here. You just want to make sure that there are no creatures around. I got a Kentrosaurus chibi out of that one. And so your chibis are basically much smaller versions of creatures that exist in the game. And you can get some fun ones. So like, I know that I get like the Party Rex eventually. And the Party Rex it's literally just a miniature Rex chibi with a party hat on. It's absolutely adorable. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of a cool thing to have. So we're going to go ahead and like I said, I'm going to try to track down where those other ones landed. And you can see now that the moon is going down, which means that morning is pretty close to being upon us. But the decay on the decay timer on the drops starts when they hit the ground. It doesn't start while they're still in the air. And this is where, like, on multiplayer servers, so like if you just have an Argentavis and you don't have anything faster, a player with a skiff, for example, will just zip right on. They'll be able to get every single one of these, no problem, because skiffs are crazy fast. And now that you've got Maywings and you've got other things, now I could have gotten this one, but I had to make sure that there were no wolves around, there were no Daedons around. Like, the last thing, I iterate this every single time or on every single episode, but this is a hardcore playthrough. So that one, as I was going to land and grab it, it despawned. So I was like, screw it, maybe I can get to the next one fast enough. So I go up, I start looking for that familiar glow, because it glows with bright white light. And you can see it right there, and then it's gone. So it's obvious that I've already missed the mark on these. So these are the gotcha clauses that I was talking about, where you access their inventory. And so they are passive creatures. Even if you hit them, they will flee from you. They are not fighters. They are passive flee creatures. They're big, but they're cowards. There we go. You feed it the holly and the coal, and it'll spit out these gotcha crystals. And then so that was a blue quality gotcha crystal. With the other ones, so that was the first one. That was the only really good one that I got. It spit out 3 gotcha crystals in total, and I got that journeyman pair of gloves and 2 chibis. So now I realize that I haven't even started my egg farm yet, and I need to tame a Rex. So I could have built like a proper trap, the trap that's the style that I have been building, but I think it's important to show you guys this trap, and this trap is super cheap to make. So these giant billboards are like 35 metal and I think it's 15 or 25 cementing paste. They're crazy cheap. And if you look how tall they are, those are actually tall enough that you can trap a Giga with them. So I was like, if they're good enough for a Giga, then they've got to be good enough for a Rex. So I found a level 8 female Rex, and again, this one is just for eggs. I just needed eggs from it. So I went ahead and I trapped it. You see that I did a little bit of a cut there. That's because I took about a good 10-15 minutes to make up some more trank darts and all that stuff. Once it's trapped, it's trapped. So I go ahead and I just start knocking it out. And you can see that other Rex off to the left. I was going to tame that one too. That's a level 40 female. But you can see that it's starting to get agitated by some of the other wildlife. So it just kind of wanders off, and I don't really get to catch back up with it. So I do get to knock out this level 8 though, which is really good because honestly it saves materials when they're low level. It takes less. It takes fewer darts to knock it out. Rexes, I know that I mentioned this very early on in the series, which is ironic to say on episode 5, but Rexes are one of those creatures that headshot multipliers don't work. Their head is like a plate, so they actually take less damage and less torpor when getting hit in the head. So as I was taming up this Rex, I also found a level 12 Argentavis, and as my Argentavis is a male, and this level 12 Argentavis is a female, I was like, great, now we have another Argentavis for some eggs. And you can see that it went down outside of the trap, and that's because it started attacking the spikes, and it was gonna die from the spikes if I didn't just try to knock it out. So I said screw it, and I knocked it out right where it was. So in that time frame, the Rex did tame up. You can see that I got to level 11, and I knock out just one of these. I get half the materials back, and I left the rest of it there. So I got back to this Argentavis. I did not get it to lay an egg yet, uh, and I went back out hunting. In this clip, that's right. So in this clip, I went out to try to find more of the raptor claws stuff. Um, but yeah, the game crashed. And when the game crashed, I kind of freaked out. I had a very, very brief internal freak out. And I left all this in, so this is all pretty much real-time stuff. When the game crashes, it takes a while to recover. So you gotta, close the game, or let the game close, and you gotta reopen it. And then once you get to a certain point, you can log back in. Now, what's terrifying about this is anybody who's played on public servers or servers of any type know that when your game crashes, you get kicked off of your mount because you can't be a writer when you're ragdoll. Is what it's called. It's called ragdolling. So, like if you're on a mount on a PvP server and you get knocked out while you're on a mount, you don't get to still write your mount. You fall off of your mount. And likewise, if you're knocked out on a PvP server, somebody else can't come up to you and pick you up with their, Argentavis or Wyvern or what have you. Ragdoll does not get to write anything. So I log back in a fury, expecting to be falling to my death, or maybe surviving the fall and then being eaten by something on the ground. So what happened was it actually rolled back with the crash. So I was like, screw it. We rolled back. Everything's safe. I'm safe. The game is safe. We did not die. I took a break at this point in time because what else do you do? So now once again, we decide to log back in and pick up where we left off. And the reason that I left all of this in is to kind of show you guys, if you are doing a playthrough, because I've mentioned before about using a server. So if you accidentally get kicked out from a server, that doesn't just automatically roll back. That's pretty much game over for you. So thank goodness, don't have to worry about it. You can see I checked the time there. You can do that with the H button. So it's not quite. I went to go check my inventory. So you can see I got an Ascendant sword there, and now I bypassed the everything of getting this Argentavis into. So this is another female Argentavis, and so I actually got really frustrated at myself when trying to trap her, because I saw this one and I was like, great, there's a female Argentavis, level 108, it'll be a perfect breeder. So I go down and she's in a group with 3 other Argentavis, and I start picking them off one at a time, and the first Argentavis was level 28. Cool, no problem. So the second Argentavis I kill, it was taking a little bit longer. And when I finally kill it, it was level 108. And so I spyglassed this one again just to make sure that it was the 108, and it was. And then I went and killed the other Argentavis that was with it, because 2 are already dead and there are 2 left. And that one was 108. So I could have had 3 108 Argentavis. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, because I got lazy and didn't spy scope all of them. I saw this 108 and decided that I had to have her. That being stated, I tamed a 108 Argentavis. So it all works out for me in the end. Maybe not perfectly, but it works out, and that's what's important. And this one I did go ahead and I just let her starve for a bit. I did check her stats just to make sure, so stamina is 720, weight 528, and melee damage, whatever it was, like 200 something. Now I did go ahead and make an industrial grill, not an industrial cooker, that's something different. But I did go ahead and make an industrial grill so we could start cooking up a whole bunch of meat. This will help us with getting a bunch of jerky, so we can start making more. So we can start making some kibble. Regular meat jerky is for the blue kibble. Prime meat jerky is for the purple kibble. So, and you can see here this Argentavis is about ready to tame up. Raptor Claws is up, but after that last scare, I'm not really worried about him. I took a couple of nights off after getting DC'd. Here we go. I finally decided, you see I sped all this up, I finally decided to take down this attempted whatever the heck I was going for. And I sped it up because I broke every single piece so I could get 50% of my materials back off of everything. So yeah, I got that gone, and I got my materials back, which is really important to me. That's something that you just got to make sure you do every once in a while. And you can see I put it all on the Argentavis. It's not even bothered by the weight that's on it. I did find another beehive, so that's a potential target for when I use the bear to go get honey, which I do intend on doing once I actually get some eggs. Now, for the honey, I'll need the Uteranus eggs, and that's something I've got to start working on getting tamed up here in the next couple of episodes, is the Uteranus, because they are invaluable in boss fights, as they give your animals a 25% damage buff, and they're just the 25% damage buff. There's really nothing more you need to know. So they're pretty fantastic creatures to have. And they're not really, they're not as strong as a Rex, but they look like a Rex. So, and with that, this is a shorter episode. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch. I appreciate, just appreciate you being around. It is Christmas Day, so, if you celebrate it, Merry Christmas. If you don't, then whatever you do, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope that you're having a wonderful holiday season. And please take care of yourself. We've got the new year coming up, and take care of yourself then too. So for that, I'm heading out. You guys take care, and once again, thank you.